What is good, you guys? Welcome back to another Invincible Guardians of the Globe video. We are cranking these out, and today we are going to be going over a Cecil Nightmare dedicated to Mr. Space Racer. One shot, it's all you got, and you gotta make it count. You only get one shot. You gotta. Okay. Um, that's all I ever need. One shot. Such aura. So we do have an Elite Plus. I have not leveled him up. I haven't leveled up his skills. I want to do that here. I want to see how he performs individually at level 1. And I want to see how his skills perform. So he has 2 points. Hoping that he can last a little long enough. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he might die before I get a pop this ability. Come on, yeah. Yes. Okay. Alright, I like his movement overall so far. I love his death animation. His death animation is hilarious. So, we're gonna do a move breakdown for him. Plus his Cecil Nightmare. So, for his move breakdown, we're gonna go over his skills. So, his first skill is Space Racer fires a infinity ray that hits his target, dealing 145 of his attack as energy damage to all enemies that are in the path of the blast. Enemies below 16% HP, well 15 because we have a level 1, 15% HP of their max HP are instantly killed. This has a 23-second cooldown, which is actually not that bad for such a strong ability. And then it scales up quite tremendously by 1 point in the sense of the max HP. And it scales up about 5 points each time in damage. So once you get this to level 10, which is the ideal, I think the ideal point to get it to, when they're at 25% of their max HP, which is where that level of HP, most people's abilities don't kick in at that point. So they'll still haven't had like an affinity bubble or anything like that that's keeping them alive. So this should work at basically vaporizing an entire team for the most part. Now, if you do take this beyond level 10, all it really does is boost the damage. So basically how much damage it will do when it's not killing somebody. And if I'm being totally honest, for a, what is that? A 25% damage increase, I wouldn't do it. I would leave this at 10. I wouldn't take this to 15. Honestly, probably at all. Even if you are a whale, there's just no point. Other than, I guess, that extra damage. But there really isn't a point. Because it doesn't lower the cooldown. It doesn't lower the cooldown. It doesn't raise the max HP threshold. So it's really just no point. I think 10 is the max. Is where you want to get it. For his second skill. Space Racer increases attack power by 2% for each Viltrumite that he is going against. So that's a very simple one. If you get it to, I believe, level 5 or 6. Once you get it to level 6, an additional ability will come in. So every enemy that is a Viltrumite that he's going against, his attack power will go up by 4.5%, which is a decent attack boost because you got to think if somebody's using 4 Viltrumites, that's a 4.5, a 9, and then 9 plus 9 will be 18, an 18% attack boost. It's not that bad. In addition to this, though, anybody on his team with the coalition tag will receive a 3% damage buff. And this can stack a 3% damage buff when, I guess, enemies die. It says each time an enemy dies. So, and this stacks up to 30 times. So you can basically get a 30% damage defense buff. But this, I feel like this ability here is only going to really be useful for GDA missions. I don't know how useful this ability would be for battling, but this ability does seem like it'll be a good ability for GTA missions. So, like I was saying, I don't know how useful this will be in battle. I don't know how useful it will be there, but I can say that it probably will be useful for GTA's, and the fact that it stacks, it'll be decent. But I don't know, man. This ability does rub me the wrong way. If you get it to level 10, it's a 6.5 increase in damage for each Viltrumite, and then a 7 increase in defense for each enemy death. Now, that's a big defense boost because you're talking about 70% defense boost, which is really, really good. That's like having the oxygen helmet basically on your entire team. So it's really good for that reasoning, but I don't know how useful, once again, that's not going to be useful in a battle. It's not going to be useful in battle. Unless you're going against somebody that happens to be using a multi-paw, which is funny because I did go against somebody using a multi-paw in Arena the other day. If you're going to get someone that's using a multi-paw, then this could be actually really good for you. This could actually change the fight for you. If someone's using a multi-paw. But for the most part, people aren't going to be using a multi-paw. Now, for GTA missions, this will be very helpful though. And as far as taking this further, I mean, this whole skill here to me is kind of a gimmick skill. It's not really a good skill. It's like more of a like a niche, okay, cool kind of skill. The only thing that would possess me to want to take this to level 15 is that 9% attack boost. Because 9% attack boost for each Viltrumite, you're talking about 9, 18, 27, what is that, 36% attack boost. Like, that's a huge attack boost. And then a 120% damage buff, defense buff in for your GTA missions, that's gonna help your team not die. So there is a reason to take it to 15. I probably will leave it at 10 for me until I really get him leveled up and decide to, get him there. And plus, this is something that you don't really have to worry about too much at the moment because you do need to have him at level 1000 to do this. So obviously, we're not there yet. And then his third ability, the Piercing Ray. Space Racer fires a burst of laser beams that pierce through enemies. The first time an enemy is the first enemy receives 100% of the damage, while the enemies that are hit after that enemy, like basically the people that are behind him, will only receive 20% of the damage. And then Space Racer would immediately change his positioning to hit the most targets when he shoots the shot. I feel like that's very good. That's a very good detail because one major problem for characters that have those beam abilities is sometimes they can use it and just hit one target and completely flake the rest of the team. So that's a good thing that he's going to position himself to hit the best shot, which I think also plays into his ability because into his like personality, his character, because he knows he gets that one shot, so he always tries to wait and wait and wait and to get the perfect shot like he's Hawkeye. So I do like that they added that as a feature. And then the more you crank this up, basically the people behind the main person is going to take more damage. Then when you get it to level 7, you finally get the new ability. At level 7, it will actually now stun. It will now stun the enemies. And enemies below their 10% HP max will instantly die. So another way to instantly kill people. And then Space Racer will automatically once again position himself, with the best thing. So this is really good. Even if you leave this at 7, like if you don't go beyond 7, this is really, really good. Now if you take this up all the way to 10, it gets better because of how much extra damage it will do to the people behind. But other than that, it doesn't really change much. Like the stun doesn't change, the below the 10 HP. But then when you start to crank it up here, now you have a reason to take this one to level 15. Is because that 15% below their max HP is, once again, very important. that 15% below, that extra 5% of health can be a big game changer because an instant kill is an instant kill. You know how it is. Some guys, when they get to that 15%, that 10%, that 1%, they somehow get right back up to full HP. So this could be a real game changer. So this is a skill that I would say could be worth taking it to 15. I definitely see the value there. Definitely see the value there. If you're not taking it to level 15, if I'm being totally honest, the only breaking points for this skill, the breaking point should be this. You should get it to level 7. Oop, nope. You should get it to level 7. And if you're not going to be able to take it to level 15, if you know you can't take it to level 15, I would leave it at level 7. I wouldn't waste any more resources on it if you can't get it to 15. I would leave it at level 7. And then if you are going to go beyond that, then take it to 15. If you're not going to be going to 15, I would leave it at level 7. There's no point to take it to level 10. You're only getting a 3% boost for so much more investment. It's a 4% boost. It's just not worth it. It's not. It's really not. But yeah, that would be for his third ability. Now his fourth ability at the start of the battle, every 20 seconds, whenever he kills an enemy, Space Racer will move towards the furthest ability cell, I guess meaning like space, and then he will ram through the enemies as possible. He will deal 125% of damage of his attack, percent of his attack damage, and stun whoever is hit. So it's basically like a ramming ability after he gets a kill, which I think is pretty cool. So it's another way for him to do a lot of damage. So I like it. I think it's pretty cool, and at the fact that he can hit multiple targets, I also think it's pretty cool. And then if you crank this one up, I believe it is 6 or 7 again. 7. So at 7 is when you get the new ability. 7, rammed enemies also get an 80% of Space Racer's energy attack as burn damage over 4 seconds. Now that is huge because that's like what the Bergamot trash bag does, and we know how good that is. And if his attack power is anything like Universe's, then this can be a devastating skill. Taking this to level 10 would be worth it simply for that extra 20 burn damage time because it is a big difference. If you want to take this higher, for that 15%, it is worth it. But I personally probably would leave it at level 10, being that I have to get the other 2 skills in the middle at level 15. So if I have to be honest, the cheapest build you should be doing on Space Racer should be 10, if not 15, but 10, 10, 7, and then 8 to 10. 8 to 10 on this one. So if you want to do the cheapest build for Space Racer, you're going to go 10, 7, 8. That's going to be the cheapest build to get the max amount of potential out of him while doing the cheapest build. If you want to go all hog, then you're going to go 10, 15, 15, 10. That's my honest building of him. But now that we got the skills out the way, let's put some armor on him. No. We can't do my boy like that. We got to get him some good gear. Who got some good gear that they don't need? Yeah, you don't need that. Let's take that off of you. Yeah, you don't need that. You're not the Space Racer. Good gear on him. And I'm going to not still level him up because I do want to see him pop some of these abilities. I want to see him use some of the abilities, so I don't want him to just steamroll through them real fast. I do want this to, trigger some abilities here. I think Lucan is around that 15% mark. So if he doesn't die here, okay, he died. I was gonna say if he doesn't die here, we might be able to instant kill him with the ability. Ooh, I could do that. I can put the artifact to make him get his ability quicker if we're trying to see the ability. Oh, she sent me to space. Good thing he's Space Racer. And now she's gonna instant die. That's dope. Nah, that's what I wanted to see. That's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. That's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see how it triggered. So now because I've seen it and I wanted to show it off, now I can actually like go and see these abilities, which is once again why I don't want to level him up yet because I want to test these abilities first. But that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. All right. So with all that said and done, I'm gonna do some more testing. I'm gonna do a shorter, more breakdown version of it. But that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. That's gonna be all for this video. I'm gonna finish this in a different video, so that's why I'm not doing it now. But thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys are excited for Space Racer. He does look pretty cool. He does look pretty good. I can't wait to get him a little more high leveled and stuff, and a little more battle tested. But I'm excited for Space Racer. Let me know what you guys got him at. Let me know what you hope to get him at. And last but not least, we got a creator code, baby. And this creator code will be going live on April 7th. So check the date and see what day this video coming out. And this video should be coming out before April 7th. But if it is April 7th that this video comes out, then that means you can use this code. And if you are hearing this before April 7th, I would very much appreciate it if you can take a screen record video of you claiming your reward from this code here, or take a screenshot at least and send it to me on Discord at Kingslay727 on Discord. I would very much appreciate it because I want to do a thank you video to Invincible and to you guys for all the love and support you guys been giving me and for the opportunity they gave me as a content creator. Thank you guys once again for all the love and support you guys have been giving me. I hope this video was enjoyable for you, and I hope it helped you to know what level to build his skills at. And with no further ado, I'm going to catch you next time. Peace!